Hi, I'm Julie Jeppson. I'm with Stepping Stone Emergency Housing, and this is Connecting Anoka County, a show where we really connect all the nonprofits, highlighting how they collaborate with one another and how they really solve a need that's in our community. Today we have three wonderful people with three amazing organizations, all food shelves. So before we get into the questions, why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourselves, what you do at your organization, and what really is your organization's mission. So Pat, why don't you get started?
Sure. My name is Patrick Morley. I'm Director of Family Services at CEAP, which stands for Community Emergency Assistance Programs. I run our entire Anoka County operation.
Okay.
So
Big job.
Everything from volunteers to food to direct service. So.
Yeah.
And we've been there here in Anoka County since the late 80s, and we've been in existence as an organization since 1971. And we came about primarily because people in the community saw a need and responded.
Wonderful. And Dave, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, I'm Dave Rudolph. I'm the manager over at Seika Food Shelf and Thrift Store. We're located in Columbia Heights, and we serve kind of the northwest corner of northeast Minneapolis, Columbia Heights, Hilltop, Fridley, and Spring Lake Park.
Wonderful.
And so we've been around since 1976, and we've been serving the communities ever since.
Wonderful. Katie?
My name is Katie Ritchell. I'm the Director of Community Development for NACE Food Shelf. We stand for North Anoka County Emergency Food Shelf. We are a food shelf and clothing closet that is just there to provide people with food and clothing when they're in need. We were founded in 1985. A group of local churches came together and saw a need, so we were just open for 2 hours every Sunday, and we've grown to 4 days of distribution and a clothing closet we added on as well.
Nice. So what's so interesting to me is that where you guys are geographically. So you are the north-south corridor that splits Anoka County right in the middle, right along Central. NACE being at the upper top, the northernmost, CEAP being right in smack in the middle in Blaine, and you guys, Seika, being down south. So describe to us what, based on your geography, what kind of a client do you have so that we can see like the differences within our county of people who you support. Katie, why don't you get started on that question?
Yeah, so NACE serves the northern portion of the county, like you said, and so we are more of a rural area, and so we have a more senior demographic, just that have been around and lived there for a long time, and so transportation is definitely an issue for up there just because it is so rural. We cover 226 square miles, and there's no public transportation up there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And Dave, what about you guys?
We see, because we're closer to the heart of the city, kind of, we have a much higher population density, especially in the southern part, and Columbia Heights, Hilltop, Fridley, so Spring Lake Park is a little more, more I guess urban, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of, we still get a lot of people from there as well. We get have a big immigrant population, whether it's Latino or Muslim. In there, we also have a lot of seniors, but the other thing is too is we're getting a lot of younger people are there in there too. It's a real mix of different all social aspects.
I can imagine. And Patrick, so you guys are right smack in the middle of Blaine, and Blaine Human Services Building is where your organization is located. You're not just a food shelf. I mean, you guys have so many other programs. So talk about those a little bit.
Well, we have been, for a long time, in addition to a food shelf, we're a connector and helping people get connected to other resources. There's a lot of cross referrals within the building, so we get people seeking energy assistance, so we send them up to the agency that provides that, or people come downstairs from Anoka County Human Services and we try to get them food, you name it. Lots of calls as well because we are in that building, but we also have some very close partnerships, for example, with Salvation Army. They are right in our space as well, so we do a lot of warm handoffs for people seeking housing assistance, and vice versa. They get people who are precariously housed who are in need of food, and so that partnership works really well. But yeah, we do connecting to all the time, connecting people to any number of different resources.
Wonderful.
Because of our centralized location.
Right, and the need is so great. And Katie, you mentioned being a food shelf, but also being a clothing closet. So, I mean, looking your organizations up online, we always think of food shelf, but you have to be more because of where you're located and what the need is. So you also offer a clothing closet. Explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so we have a clothing closet. It's 100% free, so families can come in once a month and get 5 articles of clothing per person in their family,
Okay.
Up to 30 items. And it's great for when it's back to school time. Our families, I mean, kids are growing out of clothes weekly, it feels like sometimes, and that puts a big stress on those parents trying to get the correct sizing. And so back to school is a big time. And then in the winter time with coats, we've given out over 600 coats this year. Hats and mittens and gloves, it's all very much needed in the community.
Yeah. And Dave, down in the southern half in Columbia Heights, how have you changed SECA to address the additional needs besides just a food shelf?
Well, we went to a client choice food shelf. I mean, that was a big thing, so the clients can pick out their own food. But then after that, we did have a clothing closet. We turned it into a thrift store.
Oh.
It costs money. I mean,
Yeah.
we're a business.
Yeah.
It costs money to keep the lights on and,
Sure.
and buy food and everything. And the other thing we've been told too by a lot of people is it gives them a little more dignity. If you're able to buy something,
Sure.
you feel better about it, and everybody likes a good deal.
Absolutely.
And thrift
Yeah.
stores open to the public too. So.
Okay. And how do you guys gather those donations? How do you advertise what you need, what you accept, what you don't accept, things like that? Patrick, do you accept a lot of donations of clothing, of food, of things like that from the community?
We take a lot of things. There are some limits to what we can take, but we also operate a thrift store, but in our other location. So
Okay.
we will take clothing donations at our location and get those over to our thrift store in Hennepin County. We take, of course, all sorts of food donations, and just about anything. We'll consider it at the very least. Beyond that, though, when we try to connect people to other places that do accept things that we can't.
Right.
So similarly, we're trying to connect generous donors to places because they want to see their things get to the right place.
Absolutely.
So, just as a quick example, I had somebody call me last week. They had a brand new, still in the box, scooter rack that is an external scooter rack
Sure.
that attached to a vehicle.
Oh,
and so we can't take something like that, but I helped them find a place that would be able
Yeah.
to use that. And
Yeah.
so somebody in need, because that's a spendy item,
Right.
Probably looking at $300 or $400.
Sure.
So even if we couldn't take it, we try to help the donor get it to where it really is needed. So.
Yeah, when I get phone calls for clothing donations at Stepping Stone, we are, pun intended, bursting at the seams with all the clothes that we get donated. People are so surprised when I give them your information, saying, these food shelves, they're not just food shelves anymore.
That's good.
They fulfill more needs than just food, fortunately. So the holidays are over. I know for all of us, the holidays are a crazy time and people are incredibly generous. And you get such a buildup of donations of food and clothing and gifts and all this wonderful stuff to help the community. But they're done now. So what are your call to actions that you're sending out to the community, or you want the community to know that we're still here, we still need to help people, but what is that help that you are needing right now, Katie?
Yeah, so NACE is really looking for individual size meals for our kid programs, our kid backpacks, so things that kids can cook for themselves
Sure.
When their parents are working. That's definitely a great need that's year round, and especially after the holidays
Sure.
when we give out a lot more.
Okay.
So Easy Macs and raviolis that are microwavable, things like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Dave, what about you?
Well, we've got a pretty good sized homeless population in our area. It's a lot bigger than what we think it is. Most I think everybody would probably kind of agree with that, because when somebody comes in, it's just not right to say, are you homeless? That's just a horrible thing to ask. So, but if they identify themselves as homeless, they can come in more often. They can come in weekly instead of monthly.
Okay.
They would get a smaller amount, but it'd be things that they can carry easily.
Right.
So things like peanut butter and canned meats, or things that don't necessarily have to be cooked.
Sure.
Can sometimes be a really good thing. Or hygiene products, whether it's shampoos or deodorants or soap. And then we also see a kind of a continuing need for things like baby diapers or adult diapers as well.
Yeah, And Patrick, what about you?
Similarly, the good news is that our food donations have been very strong lately.
Oh, good.
That's good. But yeah, personal hygiene is an ongoing need that we're always trying to accommodate. So all those things that Dave mentioned too: soap, shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrushes, diapers. Those are always in steady demand, and that can really make a difference for
Absolutely.
a family. If you have two little ones, that can be, if they're really little, you're looking at 15,
Very
20,
expensive.
30 diapers a day, right?
Right.
If you have a couple, so those are always something that we're looking for, and we put the word out, generally speaking, for those kinds of things. But like I said, food donations have been good.
Great, good. So a lot of what I've been seeing in the community is a lot of churches stepping up and having food shelves within the churches, and schools. Almost every single school that our kids go to has some sort of pantry or supply system that they give to kids. So the changes in your industry are dramatically there, but I'm assuming you guys are busier than you've ever been. So what, over these past 30, 40 years of your organizations being around, what significant changes have you experienced with your organization? Dave, why don't you go ahead?
Well, we're seeing, I guess, more things, like you said, with the churches and schools. A lot of them have a pantry in there. One of the problems they run into, though, is they're not real big pantries. It's a small closet or it's a small room.
Sure.
So at best, people are getting smaller amounts, and it's not enough to carry them through any length of time. But it's a great help. These people are doing a great job by doing this, but a lot of people still need to come to see the food shelf.
Yeah.
We have food in all of the Columbia Heights schools now,
Okay.
and because Fridley and Spring Lake Park have their own pantries.
Yep.
But what's really neat is a program that we developed out with, it's the Columbia Heights Transition Program. And so
Okay.
these are special needs people from 20 on down. And they've been coming to SACA for years and years, and they clean, stock the shelves sometimes and everything. They've kind of taken ownership of this.
Nice.
So it's given them some job training
Wonderful.
too. So they come in and they'll order food, and then they'll pull it off the shelf, stock, and then they go back and they stock the shelves too.
Nice. And Katie, how have you seen NACE change over the years and trends that you're really experiencing right now?
Sure, yep. We've noticed that our church involvement, just because their numbers have suffered a little bit, so then their involvement has gone down a little bit. But they are still very strong supporters of NACE, and we will, now we have it kind of down to a system we can do referrals back and forth. So like a church can help with gas cards, whereas NACE is not able to do that. And we can help more with food and clothing more than the church can, just with their space and availability. So we try to share the referrals back and forth to really help the families as they need it.
Great. And within the confines, like you were saying, there's limits to what you can do and how you can help, and you work with the community members to try and fill those gaps. What hurdles are you guys experiencing? Why don't I start with you, Patrick? What hurdles are you seeing or experiencing in the community right now?
I would say one thing that's increasingly being presented to us, by people using the food shelf is just a steadily increasing housing cost. So rent is just going up and
Yes,
up
it
and up.
is.
And that's increasingly becoming a primary reason that people are coming to the food shelf,
Okay.
because there's no such thing as a rent shelf
Yeah.
or an electric bill shelf. There are potentially resources for those things, but typically they're much harder to access than cutting corners and saving money by coming to the food shelf.
Sure.
So I would say, and I don't know if you guys have seen something similar or not, but I would say that's something that's definitely been fairly visible at our location.
And Dave, are you guys experiencing that similar
We
situation?
see things like that. We get a lot of people that will call up and ask if we have gas cards or if we help with heating assistance and things like that. It's true. It's what Patrick said. Rents are going up, but then you have other things too. It's people want to, you don't just want to have processed food either. People really like to get that fresh produce. We've got some great partners in with some stores that we get food rescue from. We get real nice rescue product. So, and
Great.
it comes in and it's good for, sometimes some things don't last as long as others, but a lot of it's going
Sure.
to last for several days.
Sure.
and people are really grateful for the fresh produce.
I bet they are. So I'm assuming, maybe it's a wrong assumption, that you rely a lot on volunteers. So is there a volunteer need that you have right now? Katie?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always looking for new and fresh ideas and volunteers. Right now, I think we're really looking for kind of event planners and
Okay.
with special kind of special talents that they can bring in. So maybe someone that retired out of finance, that that's their skill set. We would love to have them come and join us and volunteer and bring their own talents to NACE.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And Patrick, what about you guys? Need any volunteers?
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
perpetual. We always will look at, at anybody who's interested in helping us, and we'll try to find a way
Yeah.
to leverage their skills and their time and talent. So even in a small operation like ours, there's things that need to be done and that can help us a lot. So yeah, we're always open to any kind of volunteer inquiry.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like you really have a small operation, however.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's
None of you.
Yeah.
I mean, you all have really big jobs,
Yeah.
filling a very unfortunate big need.
Yeah, I mean, so when I say, I'm thinking sort of our physical space. But,
Oh, yeah.
but nonetheless, yeah,
Right?
I mean, I would concur. Yeah, we're still, it's big work in a
Yeah.
small area.
Yeah. And Dave, do you guys utilize volunteers?
Oh man, we'd be dead in the water
I know,
without 'em.
right?
I
Yeah.
mean, completely. We have a staff of 4.
Okay.
3 full-time,
Wow.
1 part-time.
Wow.
And so the volunteers are just amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really my favorite part about the whole
Yeah.
working in this industry is you meet just so many amazing people. Whether it's somebody, we've got a lady named Izzy who's been coming for over 30 years.
Oh,
She's
my.
just, and another lady named Joan. She's our volunteer coordinator, and she's, does a lot of really great things. But so many of the other ones too. Whether it's they're driving the truck, they're helping to unload the truck and sort the produce, so they're helping the client shop, working in
Sure.
the thrift store, or they come to events, they help out at events. And a lot of people
Yeah.
would like to help out a lot more, they just can't because they have to work.
Mm-hmm.
So they come to our Saturday produce distributions, or they're helping out at some of our fundraising events. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, but like all food shelves, you're always looking for volunteers.
Oh yeah, every nonprofit, our volunteers are the backbone of our organization, that's for sure. All right, so just to wrap things up a little bit, is there something you would like to tell the community about, something special of an event coming up, or something on your website that you would like to bring attention, so the community can just get more information regarding your organization and your needs right now? Patrick?
Well, I would certainly take this chance to put a plug in for March Food Share.
Okay.
I'm sure you guys would agree. It's a very important time of year for food shelves. Every donation gets doubled, whether it's whatever it is. It's very helpful for Food Share, March Food Share. Excuse me. So
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you real
yeah.
quick. Is that a state program, a
it's
national
statewide.
program?
It's a statewide program. There's an agency that every March makes a pledge to donate or double all donations for food shelves throughout the entire state, and
Okay.
they've got a funding source that does that. So it's very helpful to us, and it's like I said, it's the biggest month of the year for
Okay.
food shelves in terms of donations. So yeah, I'll put a plug in for that, and wherever you are in the community, you'll probably run into something somewhere where there'll be a barrel or a box, or
Right.
They're asking for food, and it'll probably say something about March Food Share.
Well, this is perfect timing then,
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
And Dave, what about you guys? I know you have something coming up.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we've got the March Food Share thing that
Yeah.
that Patrick mentioned. That's always, everything's really appreciated for the month. But then we have Hops for Hunger. That's our craft beer fundraiser. This will be our 6th year.
Nice.
And that's over northeast Minneapolis is where we
Oh.
hold that at the Solar Arts Building. And then Empty Bowls too, I should mention real quick too. That's
Okay.
coming up. Hops is March 24th. Our
Okay.
Empty Bowls fundraiser is April 17th.
Okay, wonderful. All right, and Katie, what about you guys up north?
Yes, we are getting very excited for our empty bowls. Just
Okay.
like Dave, our empty bowls is in March, so March 15th.
Okay.
It's a free will offering soup dinner, so no matter if you're a NACE client or you're a donor, you can come and have soup with us. And
Wonderful.
Yep, we have lots of different fun activities, very family friendly. March 15th is definitely a very big night for us.
Yeah, busy spring for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough. This has
Thank you.
been wonderful, and I have learned so much about you and your organizations, and it's been a real pleasure for me to
Thank you,
have you on the show. So
Thank you,
thanks a
Julie.
lot.
We
for
appreciate
having
the
us. Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Well, and thank you for joining us, and please contact any one of these individuals and support them in their mission to feed the hungry and clothe people, and yeah, support your local food shelf. So thank you very much.
Thank you.